So, in last session, I discussed about the working of delegate, and it helps you for asynchronous pattern. It helps you for anonymous method. It helps you for lambda expression. So I'm starting today practical implementation of the first topic is asynchronous programming. So if you want to go for asynchronous programming, by delegate, there are 4 ways you can go for achieving the asynchronous call. The first is end invoke pattern. End invoke. And then next is polling pattern. Third, wait handle. And fourth is most important, is called callback, as Promise does in Angular, JavaScript framework, Angular. Callback. No theory. Let me start a practical of begin invoke, end invoke. Our pattern is basically end invoke, right? Let me start the discussion over the end invoke pattern. Let me start a practical. Now, rule number 1, why you want to go for asynchronous callback, and I'm choosing the first one. Make a class. Yes, sir. Take any class name, employee service. Within this class, keep 2 functions. Keep 2 functions. One function, the first function is long running function. Long running function. The reason is this function connect to database server fetching large amount of records. So obviously connecting to database server, network is involved, bandwidth involved, then iteration happens on the server side. Then we are getting a record. This takes time to perform the task. Overall, request plus response plus iteration over the database server. This takes time to perform the task. And you have one more function. So this function does not deal with the database interaction, just perform any localized work as any kind of calculation. Now, so I have 2 functions, one long running function due to network involvement, applying the loop at the server end for fetching records. So overall it's a long running function. And second function, just a localized work you have to perform. Now, if I go for creating an object of the employee service class and to call the first function, second function, I can't execute because you have single thread and one object and 2 functions. Look at mathematics. Single object, 1 thread for main, given by Celar for the main. A main is a thread, 2 functions. I'm calling the long running function by the object. F represent to long running function. So if this function suppose takes 2 seconds, take an example, takes 2 seconds. So meanwhile, you can't call other functions of the same class unless and until the first function does not complete the task. Then second function has to wait. How long he has to wait? It depends on the execution of a first function is completed or not. So why second function has to wait? You can go for asynchronous programming by delegate or by TPL. But if you ask me frankly speaking, I will definitely go for a task parallel library. I will not go for delegate. But it's a syllabus. We have to move from sequence. We have to move in sequence. First delegate, then to your TPL. It's called task parallel library. And so easy. If I go for TPL, just task, async and await. Now, so I decided I want to go for achieving a singles pattern by delegate, then TPL. So if I go for end, I can choose any one to go, but go in systematic. So I want to go for applying end invoke pattern for calling the long running function. What happens in this case, if I go for end invoke pattern for calling the long running function, so it generates a new thread, and you can give your long running function signature to your a delegate. A delegate can go for calling the function called begin invoke, which can generate a new thread, and you can run this function over separate thread. So main thread is free, is idle. You can call this function by the main thread. You can call this function by the main thread. Okay. So begin invoke is generating a new thread for calling this function, and same point of time, your main is idle, main thread is idle. You can give your main thread responsibility to call this function. This is how this gives you the asynchronous field is called parallel execution. So you are concurrently running these two functions, the long running function as well as the your main thread is calling the other function. Sandeep sir, when we can do this kind of work by TPL, why do we go for delegate? I know it's not a basically question for current session for this today's topic, but I'm just asking you personally. And don't say, I will give you answer next session. So forget the syntax parts. TPL can ease the a syntactical sugar. You can write, you can just get it like as a task and all. Why I move to TPL? When delegate can handle your request asynchronously by 4 ways, why I go for doing same concept by a TPL task parallel library. I said whenever delegate generates a new thread, right, by the function called begin invoke. So now, and you have main thread. If you have, not if you have, if you write a program over the any system and look at today's system configuration. If you write any application and system configuration is, look at i7 processor or i5 processor. So the limitation of delegate is it uses single processor, multiple threads from single processor, remaining sitting idle. Don't you think by delegate you can take a maximum work from CPU? I don't think so. Because whenever delegate calls internally the function called begin invoke for getting a new thread, it takes a thread from a single processor. A remaining processor sitting idle. Nothing technically, one processor and multiple threads. It's a synchronous? No. It's just a feel of asynchronous. It's a context switching, round robin fashion, context switching. It gives you an impression of I'm asynchronous, but not asynchronous, just a context switching. It's so fast, it gives you a feel of asynchronous. It's a context switching. Okay. So whenever I go for delegate or deciding to taking a new thread by delegate class function given by the seller is called begin invoke to delegate class. So whenever begin invoke function generates a new thread, it takes a thread from existing processor, not from other processor. And you have got i7 processor is called dual core. You have got core processor. You have got multiple processor. It will delegate does not involve all the processors simultaneously. Okay. If delegate would have gone for using all the uh, processor in a program, then one thread from one processor, second thread from second processor. Okay. So if you are getting a multiple threads from multiple processor, then you can have the actual live asynchronous call. It's called parallel execution. For delegate, whenever delegate generates a new thread using the function called begin invoke given by the seller for delegate class, program runs on single processor. Program runs on single processor, not over the multiple processor. Okay. This is the cause I want to go for task parallel library. So you can be parallelism when you have multiple threads over single processor. Okay, tell me, I want to go for taking the one batch today. After I can go for other batch. Evening time, I can go for other batch. What you will say, Sandeepan has taken 3 batch, but don't you think I've taken all the batch simultaneously or concurrently? No, one after one. So in case of begin invoke, it really gives you new thread, but all threads runs under the context switching, not basically a parallelism, just a context switching. So actual asynchronous will be happen when you have multiple threads, obviously, over multiple processor, then you can have actual asynchronous. So delegate gives you feel of asynchronous. It's not an actual asynchronous, it's just a context switching, keep in mind. Okay, so delegate can produce thread, but multiple threads from single processor and remaining are sitting idle. So you can't take maximum work from CPU using the delegate. But overall, doesn't matter. I don't want to use delegate. I can use delegate for other aspects like event creation, lambda expression, callback notification. I can use delegate for this kind of architecture. And the most is called event pattern. Delegate helps you for creating an event. That's most important. So I can use delegate for event creation. I can use delegate for your lambda expression. I can use for expression trees. I can go for callback, but I can give this walk for achieving a synchronous pattern by TPL. Okay. But TPL does not help you for other aspects what delegate does. So it just generalized for multiple activities and TPL only for gives you how you can take a maximum work from CPU. When you have multiple threads over multiple processor. Think the current from one plug. Current from one plug. I want multiple current over different plugs. Okay. So when you have multiple plug, then you can go for start your bike, start your car, otherwise single plug and multiple plug. So I want multiple thread, not by single processor. I want to get a multiple threads over multiple processors. So in this case, you have to go for TPL. It gives you live concurrent architecture. It's called parallelism. task parallel library, delegate gives you context switching architecture, and you will feel it's an impression of asynchronous, but not actually asynchronous. I hope so. It's clear to everyone. Now come back for the practical. Now, so public class employee service class user interface. So please keep in mind, if someone asks me, Sandeep, I want to go for asynchronous programming, I strongly prefer to go for using TPL, task parallel library. Otherwise, I can use delegate for event creation, for lambda expression, for anonymous method, and the most important part is called callback. So the promise-based pattern AJAX call is again a promise-based. It's called callback. Callback, help, and callback. So I'm taking two functions, public int employee, employee data, passing the parameter int ID. So I request to this function, okay, please give me data for the employee ID. I don't want to make a basically model which can give you multiple records. Fine. Just believe I'm giving the ID and giving the name. In project level, I should make one model. A function should return the model for employee details. I can get multiple records. Fine. So now, so this time, now include on the top namespace using system dot threading. So we have the class is called thread, and thread class is having a function called sleep. I'm passing the parameter at 3000 as a millisecond, 3 seconds. And suppose this function connect to database server and apply the loop and where conditions and all. Then we get a record of that ID is called, suppose return, gosh. So I don't want to go for database connectivity, dot and SQL connection, then SQL command, then SQL data reader. Sorry, fine. Or intuitive framework code first or database first. Just understanding how delegate works, fine. Now, so I'm taking one more function is public, right? address, return, suppose Noida. This function is lightweight because localized task, not I'm basically connecting database server for fetching a data. Just local. Try to convince him that one function long running, one is lightweight. Simple. Now, so if I go for creating an object of employee service class, employee service class, fine. Obj is equal to new employee service class. So I'm calling the first function of this class obj dot function name called employee data, right? So I'm passing 123. Now I will be getting a data in a string. I'm giving short is called temp. Right? To be write a string. So where is a basically alias, now it become alias for the string. So where keyword gives aliasing for any variable. Fine. So console dot write line. And meanwhile, I am calling the other function of the same class using obj dot function address. And what output comes where a double d and give proper space in between. So control C. Right. This is called synchronous. This is called synchronous programming, not asynchronous programming. So one after one. So second function will be waiting for 3 seconds in this example. Second means address function is waiting for 3 seconds. Save this program. Go to F drive and F folder. Save there. Employee service.cs. I've taken two class. There is no delegate in this program, nothing. Simple program. What is synchronous programming? Save. Now come back to developer command prompt. You can use ID, no problem, but I want to use Notepad. Drive CDA and program name is EMP CS.cs. One error is there, a string, line number 8. Yes. So save and come back. So program is compiled, but look at the output of this program. So you are change the address, change the message. One is called Akash and second Noida. You change the variable name to go for add. And give more time in between as a difference. We'll go for 6 seconds. We'll come back. Look at. So why I'm waiting for the first function execution? I'm not getting Noida. The reason is Akash function. Akash is getting a data from one function, and that function takes approximately 6 seconds to perform the task. So meanwhile, I have to wait. So how long I have to wait? Unpredictable, right? So you have to wait for next 6 seconds. These kind of tasks we can simplify by delegate, but delegate never gives you actual asynchronous. It gives you just feel of asynchronous because multiple threads over single processor. This is the cause I want to go for task parallel library. Perfect answer in interview. So why you want to go for TPL, right? And then you can go to net, write any program before function, you mark a task, right? If you make a method and mark as a task, you can run this program function over separate thread plus separate processor. Okay, okay. That's why delegate main is blocked. Why main is blocked? Two thread, one processor. So main has to wait. This is the cause. Now, come back. So Sandeep sir, how we can go for converting this program into your asynchronous by delegate using end invoke pattern. First you make a delegate, okay? Delegate. And what is function signature Sandeep? So returning as a string and any function name, I'm giving search, passing the parameter int id. This is how you can declare the function, declare the delegate. Look at simple mathematics. So now in future, delegate will call those method, returns as a string and takes parameter as id. Okay. So, and when you compile the program, I just told you last session, you delegate internally, convert your a sealed class for your search and inheriting from multi-class delegate and then to delegate class. So by this, so you can call the begin invoke function by object of the search class because this delegate converted into sealed class after compilation or during compilation. Now remove everything, remove it. So I'm creating an object of delegate type is delegate name is search controls. So I decided I don't want to call the employee data function by the main object because it will block my address function. So I decided to go for calling the function of the employee data function by the delegate object. So control V, obj, sobj, new. Now you pass function signature. So when you go for ILDSM, you can see the search is converted into sealed class, and you can pass function signature is obj.employee data. Then you can convert the same program using TPL. Wait after delegate, I will start TPL in this batch. So easy to go. The reason is you know the complex part how you can achieve, and you can simplify it by only one or two lines using TPL. Now, so now this object is encapsulating the function reference or function signature or reference. We're assigning the function signature to delegate object, and then you have function called begin invoke. Okay, okay, begin invoke. So begin invoke function takes multiple parameters. So wait one or two class more. I will discuss all the parameter now. The first parameter is you want to call the function. Does that function takes any parameter? Say yes, I'm calling the function, taking a single parameter. Okay, you pass 101. Okay. Second parameter, callback. There is no callback. Second is a delegate for callback. There is no callback. No callback return type, nothing. So what is second and third parameter? I'm so sorry. So second and third parameter is basically for the callback pattern. So we use callback for a second or third parameter. Okay, so I can see, I will be seeing from there. I will be getting the details from a Microsoft documentation. There's no point, I just told you. Don't see there, you just go to ID and go for definition. You'll be getting a second parameter is called delegate name for calling the asynchronous function. Okay, okay. Second and third is concerned to a callback. Yes, concerned to callback. So at this point, uh, begin invoke function will generating a new thread, right? And I call that function. So s.obj. So s.obj is pointing to employee data function and begin invoke. So overall, this thread is calling this function. Simple mathematics. Now, then you can go for s.obj s, and this function returns the interface is called iasync result, IR, and IR dot end invoke. And you write the delegate object is called SOBJ. SOBJ and invoke and invoke will be IR. So within this you can call any function sitting idle. The thread is called. Look at the block. This function will take 6 seconds to perform the task. Meanwhile, I can call other function. Okay, okay. So I can call other function by the main object, not by the delegate object. Why main is sitting idle? I can call other function during the 6 seconds. Okay, okay, okay. So you go for console dot write line, and you go for obj dot address. Okay, yes. You should not wait for 6 seconds to perform this function called address. So output will be address called Noida, then Akash. So you are getting Akash after 6 seconds, but in last example, I was getting Akash, then Noida. In this case, you will be getting Noida, then Akash, and everything running perfectly well then. So this is called end invoke and begin invoke. Save this program and come back. Line number 3, line number 4. Delegate string this